Hello and welcome guys to the GosuCup EU number 2 here on Friday evening. We have an exciting cup coming up for you straight from round 1 all the way to the grand finals, and we've got some killers in the cup today. We've got some excellent players. So I'm going to go through these players first, and just to mention a few, we have RDU, Nyria, Ecop, Blackout, Silvername, Tang, Shatan, Udachi, Doki. So we got a lot of cool players playing this event, and of course all you guys who are watching and participating. So this is the regular Friday GosuCup, which we'll be doing from now on, and I'll be bringing those matches to you. There's 7 HCT points on the line, and the players first, second, third and fourth, I believe, get those points. So I'm just setting up the first game for you guys. Just wanted to give you a quick introduction. Just needed, the brackets have only just gone live, so I need to find out who is playing. But Blackout is going to be our first player on the stream from Team Dignitas. But I'm just trying to find his opponent right now. So just bear with me for a moment. So last week we had Gladile and Pyro94 in the finals, and they were and Gladile was the first winner of the GosuCup EU. And this week we'll have maybe a new winner. Not sure if Pyro has signed up or Gladile, but we'll soon find out. So Blackout will be going against a guy named Cemepo, I want to say? Cemepo? Cemepo seems like right. The wonder of gamers and their gamers tags. I'm a criminal of it myself. I mean, I chose a very silly name, but it always makes you laugh. So yeah, it's going to be Blackout versus, I'm going to call him Cemepo. And Blackout is not a stranger to the Hearthstone scene. He's been around for a very long time, and someone who I've clashed with in the past when I was a player in the UK scene. We clashed at Insomnia before the True Silver Championship stuff started up. So, you know, we've had a bit of history as competitors. And he's been representing Team Dignitas for quite some time now. Oh, God, it must be at least a year and a half. So he's quite a consistent player in his own right. You know, he's played in a lot of dream hacks, stuff like that, in invitationals. His opponent, on the other hand, doesn't have a Gosu ranking, so not someone who's had a lot of experience in the tournament scene as Blackout has. So that'll be interesting to see how these two players line up. Is he kind of a secret Hearthstone legend which we don't know about? We'll have to find out. So I'm just going over some administrative stuff at the moment, just get the tournament underway. But these two players should be ready soon. So I'd like to just quickly say as well, this is best of 5 conquest, no bans. So kind of the old school conquest format that we've had. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this tournament away and seeing who is going to walk away with those very valuable HCT points, helping qualification to those championships. And we're going to have the spring championship next month, well, at least the preliminaries at least. So these players are all battling for those spots. So these players are just they're preparing to battle, so they'll be getting underway very shortly. So like I said, a lot of killers in the tournament at the moment. We'll have to see how that fins out after the first round. The first rounds are always the shakiest when you play in these open tournaments. I've played in enough in my past, and if you don't get through the first round, you kind of feel bad. But once you start getting into the kind of the swing of the tournament environment, things really start to pick up, I find, from my experience. But every player has a different way they approach tournaments. Not everyone approaches tournaments the same way. So while we're waiting for these players to get going, let's see what our other pro players have been lined up against. So Spo actually got in, and wow, so we have Spo as well, which is great. Spo is playing against Goodfella, a player I'm not familiar with personally. Powder got through as well, very nice. So we have Powder in the tournament. Oh, this is getting stacked, guys. You are in for a treat. So Powder is going to get against a guy called Sig. Let's have a look. Gladal, the winner of the last tournament, he is playing Edmerv. I'm going to say that's his name. Let's have a look. Who else we have? Doki is playing against Zaraki Plague. Another player I don't know. Silvername and Shatan Udachi are both playing in the same part of the tournament. So if Silvername wins and Shatan Udachi wins, they have to play each other in round 2. So that is just brutal. So these guys are actually ready. They're playing nice today. So it looks like it is going to be a warrior mirror. Just trying to get... Yep, so these guys are ready to go. So we have a warrior mirror to start with. And the way we do the casting for this tournament is I don't ask for their classes. I like to be surprised, when it comes to Hearthstone. I like people to show me decks I haven't seen in a while. And last week we had a lot of Demon Lock, which was fun to see. I think we had a really intense Demon Lock mirror as well. So that's going to be really fun to see what type of decks are being brought. And even though a lot of people are saying the metagame is stale, there is still a lot of kind of experimentation. Tice recently bringing the Ancestral Communion Druid. We had like mid-range Warlocks piloted by Johnny Stone, I think it was, at Insomnia. So, there's still a lot of room for creativity. But these guys, look like it's going to be a Warrior Mirror. Control Warrior, going to probably come out from Blackout. And it's going to be Patron Warrior from Meepo, as I'm going to call him. Cemepo. So that is going to be the first Armorsmith coming down. No Armorsmith coming from Blackout, so can't really match that. But he does have a Fiery War Axe. It's not going to do a lot at the moment. But it looks like he is going to go for the Acolyte of Pain and try and get some value off that Armorsmith. Having a 1 attack down, going against an Acolyte of Pain is a bit problematic. But Warrior having one of the most efficient tools to deal with this start, and that is the Fiery War Axe. So looking at the hands here, Cemepo has the Deathspite, the Grim Patron, and the Inner Rage. So he has the combo coming up very soon. Blackout not finding a brawl yet to answer that combo from Cemepo's side. But Blackout does have a couple of resources to help him stay in the game. And that is a charge. So this is more than likely the Worgen version, which has been used. It's been used in the past, a couple of people have tried it. I think one of the players, it might have been Silvername, or it might have been Doki, I can't remember. One of the players at the ESL Legendary Series in Katowice also ran this variation. It's like a spicy Patron Warrior, that's the best way to describe it. Blackout is going to deal with this Armorsmith finally, and just a Deathlord sitting there with no way for Cemepo to clear it just yet. But he's probably just going to have to swing his Deathspite in it, even though it doesn't kill it, just to get the Patron combo going next turn. So this is what he has to consider. because he's probably going to waste the damage, but the Inner Rage is going to be able to finish it off, so he's willing to expend one of his patron activators here so he gets more value from the Deathbite in the next turn. And that is not a bad minion to pick up. It does get cleared by the Fiery War Axe, but that's one Fiery War Axe charge less to go against the patron. You know, he's not going to have that available to him if he decides to clear this Acolyte. But if you do leave it up, you're offering a lot of card draw to your opponent. So probably Axe Belcher looks like the solid line of play going forward. Stays on curve. Not much else going on. And there's Rampage as well, so just the Raging Walker needed for the burst combo. But Cemepo is going to be able to get a nice patron board going on here. Doesn't expend the Inner Rage. Interesting. I would have just went all in there, to be honest. Because now Blackout can just execute Deathbite and where are the patrons? He dealt with this very easily. The Inner Rage would have created so many problems for Blackout, but Blackout responds to a very mild patron turn very efficiently. So that might be the turn that swings things into Blackout's favour. Cemepo not pulling the trigger on that patrons may cost him. Blackout's sitting fairly comfortable compared to Cemepo's hand. Cemepo has a lot of combo activators in his hand. But he goes for the clear on the Gnomish and gets that Justica down nice and early, because these control warriors can just armor up outside the damage range of a patron warrior. I've seen Stan Sifka do it so many times, even before the patron nerf, where he just grinded out their damage output with tanking up every turn. And this may be Blackout's strategy going forward. So Deathbite will clear up the Justica without too much of a problem. But double shield block will generate tremendous amounts of armor. And there's a bash. Gonna use that bash. And look how much armor he just gained. Wow. So just shooting his health up way out of range of a patron warrior for now. And Cemepo not finding that second patron and has to dig deeper. Oh, but there he is. And doesn't go for the Inner Rage again, so he must be saving it as an activator for the Worgen. Oh, he's done it. I think he did want to go for the Inner Rage there, but he did the sequencing wrong. And now Blackout has the answers he needs to fight the last patron combo. So no more patrons coming from Cemepo. And now he has to deal with a Grom. Not too hard for a warrior traditionally, having access to those executes. But he doesn't have one right now. So the Unstable Ghoul with the Forest Horn are going to have to block out this Gromash, sorry. And try and keep him in check. And Gromash just smashes into that Unstable Ghoul. And the Sludge Belcher comes down as a form of protection. So Grom's still got some work to do. He's going to be sticking around on the board unless double Whirlwind, or maybe a Whirlwind Inner Rage comes down. Cemepo doesn't find what he needs. He's probably looking for the Worgen, or at least a way to dispatch of the Sludge Belcher without too much issue. But Loatheb's going to come down, locking out those spell cards from Blackout. And dealing with all of this Sludge Belcher with a combination of those two minions, and the 10-2 Grom stays around unless he just decides to expend a Whirlwind and maybe an Inner Rage, but that would cost him 2 minions on board. Harrison Jones showing up to the party a little bit late. 2 Deathbites already been used, and Revenge is going to come down, probably with just a tank up. And this is where Blackout's armor is going to be getting a little bit out of control, especially with no patrons left. It is going to be very tough for him to get back into this game. I mean, I'm not sure how much this combo is going to be able to do Because this combo, in theory, just needs to kill your opponent. It needs to be, you know, the finishing play for this deck. But the issue is, Blackout's past 50 armor at this point. I don't think the Worgen is even capable of dealing that much damage. So a very passive play from Cemepo, and Blackout, everything's going his way right now. He is the slower deck. He wants to slow down the pace of the game, control the board, and sitting at that much armor and health, the threats are going to start coming soon, or Elise if he's playing the Elise variation. And once Elise comes down and he gets that golden monkey, it's going to be lights out, because the threats are just going to start rolling out, and it's going to be such a problem for him to deal with. And the tempo, Harrison Jones coming down. He's seen already 3 weapons. So the only thing he could hit is potentially another Fiery War Axe, unless that's already been used. But this is it. This is the big combo that Cemepo's been waiting for. Let's see how much damage he can dish out with it. So the Wind Fury is going to double whatever number comes down. So it's only 22. 70-20 doesn't even take care of the armor. And Blackout's just going to throw and execute at this guy. And I think that's going to be lights out for Cemepo in this game. And he drops the well played, knowing that he is not going to have the damage he needs to win this game. So that is the first game going over to Blackout. So the Control Warrior has won a game. This is Conquest. So that deck is now no longer available to play. So Blackout will have to bring other parts of his lineup. But I was pretty impressed with Blackout's patience during that match. But ultimately, I think his victory was at the hands of his opponent, making some very strange decisions with his Patron Warriors. But you know, you learn from playing in tournaments. You learn, especially you watch the VODs. You can go over what you think you might have done wrong and maybe not make that decision again. Not using those inner rages definitely hurt Cemepo a lot. But going into game number 2 here, Blackout queuing that mid-range druid. And Blackout, the last time I played Blackout in tournament was Insomnia 53. So this was before the True Silver Championship. And he was running the druids back then as well. I do remember playing him in these losers semis, I think it was. I was very scared of the druid because he was one of the only players bringing it at that time. But druid, you know, as we all know, has been a consistent contender in competitive. And Secret Paladins had a very interesting life. It started off as the deck everyone hated and everyone felt was too powerful. And now players are not even bringing it. Players are either not bringing it at all or bringing the Murloc variation. So not a bad start here for Cemepo. He does get those secrets out. Noble Sacrifice. The problem with playing Redemption with Noble Sac is you get a 2-1 back against a Druid, which opens up the swipe. I wouldn't have minded a little bit of patience coming from Cemepo and just playing the Redemption down. But Blackout doesn't even go for the attack with the hero power, so he is afraid of Avenge. So the one thing these secrets can do is create a layer of mind games, which can be very hard to read, especially with Paladin having up to 5 different secrets in their decks. So with the Keeper of the Grove being picked up now, Blackout feels more comfortable making this play and making this attack because he knows he can silence anything that's been avenged. And Blackout is going to now think, oh, well, it was just a noble sack and a redemption. I had nothing to worry about. But the patience there would have rewarded him if the Avenge had indeed been played. So now Blackout needs to decide what he wants to do with this Keeper. He could still go for a silence on the Haunted Creeper, because he's going to want to develop a body, but Blackout is going to just slow it down. I just go for a hero power and clear up the 2-1. Not much of a threat coming from Cemepo at the moment. But Keeper of Alderman, very powerful card from League of Explorers, is going to be able to turn this 3-3 into a threat. This 1-1 into a 3-3, sorry, which is going to be quite a threat. Now Blackout has Innovate Ancient of Lore, but plays a little bit more patiently with that Innovate, maybe thinking about double combo in the future, and drops that Druid Claw, which challenges everything on board at the moment. So this is the point where the Paladin starts to get very powerful, especially against the Druid. So Druid doesn't have stuff like Hellfire, Shadow Flame, Lightning Storm. They rely on timing swipes, or just lining up kind of swipes and wraths together with hero powers. But MC Tech might find some value. Finds the Haunted Creeper. That was probably, I would say, the third best out of all those minions. So now Avenge will go off. And Avenge's ideal target would have been the Secret Keeper, I think. Because you want... well, you want to spread the power across your board. But Blackout is just going to develop as many minions as he can. And Sludge Belcher is going to come down from Cemepo, trying to block off Blackout from challenging some of the powerful bodies he has on board. He takes Blackout down to 10 health. So he's demanding a response from him, with the fear of any kind of instant damage being in Cemepo's hand. Blessing of Kings, Cog Hammer, which already sits there. So there's a lot for Blackout to consider. He needs to clear as much as possible. So he may use the combo here, but he doesn't have enough space at the moment. Goes for the silence on the Sludge Belcher. A Savage Roar alone would have been enough to kind of deal with most of this. But Blackout seems pretty happy with just dealing with everything but the Sludge Belcher. And Loatheb is going to lock out any Blessing of Kings shenanigans. But Coghammer is just going to turn this Sludge Belcher back into a taunt. Doesn't get the Death Rattle, but he gets a Divine Shield. The Knife Juggler might be able to snipe one of these weaker minions. Gonna want to hit the 3-1, and he hits it! So he gets the best dagger there. And Blackout can be quite an emotionally invested player sometimes, I find. And that's the type of thing that would frustrate him. But he's not out of this game. He does have a lot of resources in hand to be able to manage this board. So I imagine we're going to see a 1-1 go into the Divine Shield here. Drop the swipe on the Sludge Belcher. There's no Death Rattle going to be coming out because he's been silenced. So the Knife Juggler's not going to throw a knife off. You can finish off the rest of the Sludge Belcher with another 1-1. And then you can kind of just decide what to do. But actually he's going for just the board play, keeping hold of that swipe. He probably wants to heal up with Ancient of Lore. I prefer this a lot, actually. Just using what he has on board to deal with those threats.
Reporting for duty.
So just an array of secrets coming down. But Blackout knows he has the victory and clutches it out on 5 health. And healing up, playing very defensively, and it's paid off. And he gets the combo, taking the win. So as you can see next to Blackout's name, I have a number in brackets. So any player who is on the Gosu rankings, I will be putting their European Gosu ranking next to their name. So you can see where they all line out. Just bear with me for a moment. So the client had kicked Black out of the game after he won. I think the client was disgusted with him winning with Druid. And so nope, no more of him. So he's just been dropped out of the client. So we're going to get them back into the next game. Hopefully that won't take too much trouble. So these guys should be back in their game very shortly. So we've seen a Secret Paladin and a Patron Warrior come from Cemepo. Blackout used Druid and Control Warrior. So I'm expecting an aggro deck from Blackout. Personally, he might bring Face Hunter. Him and Green Sheep, Chacky, the aggro boys, you know, those guys from his team are all very well known for their aggro lineups. So maybe a Face Hunter, maybe a Zoolock. I can't imagine him bringing another control deck, but he may surprise me. And nope, there we go. So a Zoolock. So he's gone for the control deck, the mid-range deck, and the aggro deck lineup. And Cemepo's gone back to his Patron Warrior. So this is a good matchup for Patron in general, but I think the one problem he's going to have is all the inclusions of these Raging Worgen cards and all the card spells you need to synergize with it. It's going to take away some of the advantages you have in this matchup. So Soulfire instantly picked, wants access to that damage if he needs it. So Fiery Warak's probably going to come down, just start challenging the early aggression of the Zoolock. But nothing really much to play. Maybe just for the Direwolf Alpha out. That doggy is going to get axed straight away, I can imagine. Yeah, not much else to do. Maybe just drop the armor up. Could have went for a Battle Rage for one card, but not much value there. And now the Knife Juggler combined with the Void Walker. So if another weapon does come down, like a Death Spite, which is so common of Warrior these days, and well, since the card was released, to be honest, it'll protect this Knife Juggler. Going for a Whirlwind Execute? So Cemepo playing very defensively already, not wanting Blackhead to get an early lead on board. But Tap Abusive is going to clear up this Armor Smith, and the Flame Imp is going to come down and put a lot of pressure on Buzz. So Cemepo is already really far behind. Finds a shield block. This might find him a card he needs to get back into the game. And Stable Ghoul's not bad. It will clear up at least the 1-1 and the 2-1. The Flame Imp will live, but it will be on 1 health, so he may find an Inner Rage or something to deal with that a little bit later. Lofair going to come down, and this is a threatening board, and only spells in Cemepo's hand, no weapons at all, or minions to fight Blackout's pressure. We'll probably see Nerubian Egg Argus come down, potentially just taunting up the Imp and the Egg, so protecting the Lofair from any weapons, and getting a taunt and some attack stats on that Egg. So things are looking so good. Cruel Taskmaster is not what you want to find here. The Cruel Taskmaster plus the Inner Rage will be able to deal with the Flame Imp. But right now Cemepo is so far behind, and Blackout just has so much damage in his hand. Soulfire overwhelming, so he has 4 damage of burst, and he has an 8-8 coming down. Not sure if I like the sequence in here. I would have liked Battle Rage to go off first if you were going to decide to do that. Because if you had picked up a weapon, you may have played things a little bit differently. So there's Leroy. Wow, so how much damage does he have? 8. Not enough just yet, but next turn, Cemepo is going to lose unless he finds a defensive tool to keep him in the game. The problem is the only taunt that he's up against is the Nerubian, and taking out the egg without killing Nerubian presents more damage on board. So that should be it. I don't think I need to do the maths here because that just looks like a tremendous amount of damage. And Blackout is going to be the victor here, taking a 3-0 lead over Cemepo in the first round. So well played from Blackout. Clean sweep from him there. But it just shows the strength of professional players. He is part of Team Dignitas. And Cemepo, someone who wasn't even on the Ghost ranking, someone new maybe to the tournament scene, trying to kind of make his breakout. So there's a little bit more work to do, I think. Maybe work on his Patreon game a little bit. But there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, every player is always learning and growing. So that is it for the first game. I'm going to try and get the next game as soon as possible. And I will keep you updated on what's going on in the bracket while we wait. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back very shortly with the next game.